Howdy, folks. I hope you're having a good day or night whenever you're watching this. I got some news for you today. First one here is from Fox News channel. Canada expanding assisted suicide law to include the mentally ill, possibly enabling mature minors. I'm going to play a little bit of this clip here for you. Once it loads.
So Margaret Marcilla is a mother who lives outside of Toronto, Canada. She's got a 23-year-old son who suffers from depression and diabetes, also doesn't have a girlfriend. On that basis alone, doctors have just approved her son's assisted suicide. A doctor called Joshua Tepper signed off on it to kill the boy because he's sad, he doesn't have a girlfriend. We know this because of the Substack Common Sense. You can read the details. We should. They're shocking. This is about to become a lot more common in Canada as a way of cutting down on healthcare costs. By March, a new law in Canada is expected to allow children to be killed by doctors, by state doctors, without the approval of their parents. Seems like a very big change in illustrious civilization. Charles Campbell is a professor at Creighton School of Medicine. He's the author of Losing Our Dignity. He joins us tonight. I sure appreciate your coming on to assess this. We've had this conversation multiple times, and each time we do, we reach a new and more terrifying low. Doctors killing kids without telling their parents because kids are depressed.
Let's see if I have the laundry list right, Tucker, at this point. We've got kids now, or what they call mature minors. We've got the homeless, we talked about that last time, the poor, the disabled, those with chronic pain. And then right before coming on, I researched a physicians group in Quebec that wants to kill newborn infants. That's what's coming next. The Toronto Star, Tucker, a very liberal paper in Canada, called this Hunger Games social Darwinism. This is what happens, Tucker, when autonomy just goes nuts.
I mean, you hate to, I really try never to invoke the Nazis because, for many reasons. But they are famous for doing this exact thing. Use doctors to murder the weakest in your society. And I thought that doctors kind of agreed after the Second World War not to do things like this.
Yeah, you would think. And I'm the same way. I think we should be very, very hesitant to use those arguments. But at a certain point, Tucker, if the shoe fits, Canada has to wear it. Now, the question is, can we stop this from coming to the United States? It hasn't gotten here yet. And I think we can. For instance, New York, Connecticut, even deep blue states like that have not legalized.
Now I'm stopping it right here. I think it has come to the United States. That's why they killed my daughter last year. Couldn't get her lungs. She had COVID-related problem. Well, that's what they call it. But they destroy her lungs on a ventilator. I know that. And I'm going to have that about the ventilator, link on that in my description also. And to hear Bill C7 will allow individuals seeking aid to apply solely on the basis of mental disorder. Prior to the bill's passing, MAID eligibility was passed on having a previous and immediate medical condition according to a report from Canada government. You can't listen to the government. They'll lie to you. Look at Biden. Biden is trying to make scores right now, so because we get close to the midterm election, And once the election's over, he's going to start messing up again. We should have midterm election or election every month. So he do right. Anyway. Let's see what we got here. We got the homeless. We talked about that last time. The poor, the disabled, those with chronic pain. And then right before coming on, I researched the physician group in Quebec that wants to kill newborn infants. That's what's coming next, he told host Tucker Carlson. This is what happens when autonomy just goes nuts. The medical humanity professor said, healthcare has been hyper-utilized in recent years and is based on cost-benefit and analysis. He said he don't think that this law will come to effect in the U.S., but it will. It's already here. They just don't tell about it. You know, these hospitals, they're a business, you know, and these doctors and nurses have to listen to what the hospital said. If the hospital can't make no money off of you, they'll just say kill them, and they will. They won't tell you that, but they will. Okay, let's talk about something else now. This is from the AP News. Disturbing expert trouble by Canada. Oh, that's the same law. They're about killing people, sick people, kids, children, maybe babies next. I'll have all these links in the description here. You can read about it. And this one here from New York Post. Now this is different news altogether. This is about the CCP police. Chinese police station in New York City that spies on dissenters run by shady charity on IRS blacklist. A Chinese police station set up to spy on the country's nationals in Lower Manhattan is run by a U.S. charity that is on an IRS blacklist, the Post has learned. The nonprofit America Changling Association, Incorporated, owns and operates a service station. That's what they call them, service station, located above a noodle shop in the third floor of 107 East Broadway Street on the lower side, according to police finding. Now, look at this name here. They put the word American on it so you can trust them. America Changling Association. That's like American Chinese Association. In May, the IRS yanked the group's tax-exempt status for its failure to submit tax filings for 3 straight years, according to public records. The nonprofit, which was incorporated in New York in 2013, was listed as enlisted its charitable mission as a social gathering place. Well, CCP stands for, I'll tell you what that stands for in a little bit. The nonprofit was incorporated in New York in 2013. I read that already. The Manhattan station is part of a web of more than 100 such law enforcement offices set up around the world in the People's Republic of China. But the station had more sinister purposes, such as spying on Chinese diaspora for the Chinese Communist Party. That's what CCP stands for, Chinese Communist Party, according to a recent whistleblower. Openly labeled as overseas police service station, they contribute to resolving, cracking down on all kinds of illegal and criminal activities involving overseas Chinese. But we know that they're here spying on us. That's what they're here for. They don't tell you that, but they are. In addition to New York safeguard, defenders found 2 Chinese police stations in Paris, 3 in Toronto, 2 in London, 5 scattered throughout the Spanish cities of Madrid, Barcelona, and more. The reports accuse these stations of involvement, forcibly returning more than 200,000 overseas nationals. What they're trying to do, they're trying to get the good Chinese to go over there and brainwash them to be a communist. Said here, the news on the Manhattan-based Chinese police station was greeted with outrage from Republican lawmakers Friday, who sent a letter to U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland and Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, according to a report. The Department of Justice and State Department must explain why the Biden administration has allowed CCP police to set up an office on U.S. soil, said Republican Study Committee Chairman Jim Banks of Indiana in a statement to Fox News. A spokeswoman for Safeguard Defenders called the overseas station a violation of international law and territorial sovereignty Friday. I think it shows how brazen the CCP is getting and how little regard they have for other governments. The use of an off-the-books culture nonprofit is a cynical ploy that weaponizes American values of community and cultural identity to conveniently attack and harass innocent people. It is something all of our elected officials needs to focus on and allocate resources to put an end to it, said Tom Anderson, director of the government project of the National Legal and Policy Center, a Virginia-based government watchdog group. Okay, and next I'm going to read this. I made these notes here. Sorry about that, people. I do that all the time. Okay, I made some notes for you here. The first one here is from Fox News on YouTube. In March, Canada will allow state doctors to kill children without parent consent. Okay, I already read that to you. Next one is, I got this from China in Focus. They've been demonetized by YouTube for telling the truth. I could not get demonetized because I am not making money from YouTube. They can shut me down, but I will still speak. China sent a lot of money, a lot of fentanyl to Mexico border control to Mexico. Border control agents are seizing a lot of fentanyl. They are like gummy bears, skittles, even disguised as sidewalk chalks to appeal to children and kill and all kinds of rainbow fentanyl candy. We have to close our borders. They are also sent to Australia and Canada. Just a few grams of fentanyl is like a few grains of salt and can kill most people. China and Mexican cartels is trying to kill our children. Biden opened the border to let all the drugs in to kill our children. I do not call it, and you know, a lot of bad things come from China. You know, COVID-19, now fentanyl, and they're bad in their police in all these countries. And I do not call it COVID-19 anymore. I call it China COVID because it comes from China. Now it had backfired in China. China is getting the worst of the disease. You know, if you do something bad, you know, it's going to backfire on you, and that's what it's doing to the Chinese. This was on the New York Post website, Chinese police station in New York. Yeah, I read that too. And Dublin, Ireland, they kicked them out. They told them, no, they can't be there. And I'll have some links down below in the description. You can read more about it, listen to it. And we got to stop this stuff, you know, we really do. China is not good for us, you know. They're like Russia. They're communists. And they'd be glad to kill everybody in the U.S., Canada, Australia, and so they can take over. China and Russia want to be in control of the whole world, and we got to stop it one way or another. Well, that's all that's all the stuff I got for you right now, folks. Hopefully I'll have better news next time for you. So until next time.